10. Today, our Christine Lazar is live at M Street Coffee in Sherman Oaks for our Coffee with KCAL. Christine, that is one of my favorite coffee shops in the Valley. I'm so envious. Have the lavender latte.
Well, you know, Jamie, I'm not a huge coffee drinker, but I do have my tea, and of course I'm hanging out by the carbs because, you know, I love those as well. And I love meeting people in the community. And today for Coffee with KCAL, we are talking about property crime. We'll be here from 7 to 10 a.m. and of course the coffee or tea is on us. So come out and join us here so we can talk about impacts to your community, issues that you guys are facing, and we can also brainstorm some solutions. Back to you guys.
Okay, great. Well, add some lavender to that tea, honey. I'm a tea girly, too. I want to check back in with our Christine Lazar, who's live at M Street Coffee in Sherman Oaks for our Coffee with KCAL segment today. Good morning, Christine.
Hi, good morning, ladies. I know I'm boring. I still have my iced tea. I promise I'll try something different soon, but I want to show you the scene behind me. Lots of residents coming out here to M Street Coffee off Moore Park. We are talking about property crime today, home break-ins, car break-ins, property theft, and people have a lot to say. We also have some solutions. We have people out here who are taking actionable steps to make their neighborhood safer. So we'll be here till 10 a.m. The coffee is on us. So is the conversation, and I hope to see you out here.
It's a great coffee shop. It's like right in the middle between Sherman Oaks and Studio City. So you'll get a lot of people, I think, from the Valley, Christine. I can't wait to hear all the comments.
In this morning's Coffee with KCAL, we're addressing property crime. It's affecting so many communities across Southern California.
That's right. Our Christine Lazar is live at M Street Coffee in Sherman Oaks, where you can go this morning to share your concerns and provide some solutions. Christine, you're with someone who's very familiar with the recent crime wave in Encino, it turns out.
Yeah, I want to bring in Rob Gluchon. You are the president of the Encino Property Owners Association. You guys have experienced a real spike in property crime. You also had a headline-making double murder, residents on edge. How is everyone in your community feeling in terms of property crime?
We're coming together to try to change things. I mean, the reality is we're not going to get better protection by complaining about it. So we're doing two things. One is self-help. Neighborhoods are organizing themselves to fund camera systems, license plate readers, working with private security companies, because they realize that the police are understaffed and they're really not going to be able to protect us. The other thing we're trying to do is get the city to have a reset. You know, as I told the mayor recently, even with limited resources, if Chicago and New York can have cameras and drones, and now you've got other cities around LA that are doing the same thing, even with the budget that LAPD has, as limited as it might be, let's look at resetting, because we really need that technology that can help better protect our neighborhoods.
And you guys actually wrote out a list of requests to the city and delivered that to the mayor's office, correct?
We did.
And what was the response?
Well, we want to give them at least 30 days to respond.
It does take time.
And that 30 days is going to be up at the end of the month. So right after Labor Day, part of what we asked for is what we call a 30-day accountability plan. And so the coalition of community leaders, which EPOA is a part of, is expecting to reconnect with the mayor through the deputy mayor of public safety. And we'll use that checklist and see what progress they have made.
And one more question. What advice do you have for other neighborhoods that maybe want to do what you guys have done, really band together and find solutions?
It starts with your own street, your own neighborhood. Many neighborhoods, people don't even know who their neighbors are. So if you get to know your neighbors, start a WhatsApp chat group so you can communicate. You're going away. Watch out for each other. You see something suspicious on your street, communicating with your neighbors, getting some protection with cameras, fortification. That's the kind of self-help that other neighborhoods should be looking at doing.
Yeah, and that's really admirable. And again, you know, as Rob said, you just start small, knock on one neighbor's door, then another and another, and get people together. And we've seen that. I've been out in the community. I've seen these neighborhoods really harden their neighborhoods. So thieves just say, hey, we're going to go somewhere else. So we'll be here at M Street Coffee in Sherman Oaks, right off Moore Park. They have great coffee. They have great baked goods. We'll be here till 10 a.m. Come on down, talk to us about the concerns you have in your neighborhood, and we can also brainstorm some solutions. We also have a security company out here that's also talking to residents about ways that they can harden their homes. So come on down. I'd love to meet you.
That's always the best part of this, right? Is kind of coming to some solutions, not just complaining or but
Yes.
there's real action that comes from these Coffee with KCAL events. Christine, thanks for being out there. We're checking back in with Christine Lazar now, who's live at M Street Coffee in Sherman Oaks for our Coffee with KCAL event. Hey, Christine.
Hi, good morning, ladies. You know, this is a great local spot. So many people come down here, and I want to show you the crowd behind me. We got a lot of people getting their M Street lattes this morning, but they're also out here for Coffee with KCAL. And this month, we want to talk about property crime, car break-ins, home break-ins, property theft,
nice to meet
things
you.
that essentially affect every community. And I want to bring in a special guest here. Hold on. Darren Haynes.
Good morning.
Also came down to join me here, and he is also going to be here until 10 a.m. Darren, thanks for coming.
I'm happy to be here. I got my coffee. I don't know what it is, though. I'm not a big coffee drinker.
It's a latte.
It's a latte. Oh, there you go. It's a latte. Like, can I sip my latte?
Yeah, have a little bit. Tell me what you think.
Oh my God.
It tastes like a latte.
Okay, to be full disclosure, Darren is not a coffee drinker, just like I am not.
I tried.
But I made him do that. But we will be here until 10 o'clock. We've had so many people coming down talking about things that are impacting their communities, very serious issues, but also some solutions, which is so important because you don't just want to say, hey, I'm upset about what's happening in my community. You also want to say, hey, how can we make it better?
Yeah, what I love about this, even just walking in, this is just a normal, natural environment that everybody's used to, and makes people feel comfortable so they can share those stories that they may be hesitant about to share. So I just walked in, I'm like, wow, this is a great opportunity for people to just share their stories so we can know more about what's happening in your community.
Yep, and we'll be coming up with another story a little bit later in the show. So we'll see you guys soon.
Okay, I'm
Little
glad
cheers.
you
No.
explained that Darren doesn't drink coffee, because he tasted that coffee like an alien, and I was like, what?
And I just want to say, for M Coffee's sake, M Coffee is a fabulous coffee place. I love all their lattes. As a coffee drinker, I can attest it
It's
is
nothing
great.
against them.
No, you know I don't drink coffee either, so I feel for you guys.
Man.
Get some tea and give us a review on that, okay? Because they're
Addressing property crime in this morning's Coffee with KCAL. It affects many communities across Southern California. And our Christine Lazar is live at M Street Coffee in Sherman Oaks, where you still have an hour to share your concerns. Good morning, Christine.
Good morning. You know, we've had so many residents come down. This is an issue that affects so many people, but people aren't just talking about what they're dealing with in terms of property crime. They're talking about their solutions. And I want to bring in first a familiar face. Come on over here. We've got Darren Haynes, who came down as well, our sports anchor. Come on in, Matt. We want to talk to you as well. And you are the president of the Sherman Oaks Neighborhood or Homeowners Association, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And what is it that you guys essentially do?
We're a homeowners group. We represent the homeowners of Sherman Oaks.
And I want to talk about not just what you're dealing with, we'll get to that, but what sorts of things are you guys doing to be proactive to make your community safer?
So we always have worked with our local police. We have a great relationship with LAPD, so we have regular meetings with them. We encourage our communities, our neighborhoods to create their own homeowners association groups, which they do. We have some incredibly active homeowner association or neighborhood watch groups. We have some of our communities, which I'm not going to say which ones they are in Sherman Oaks, have different flock cameras and different camera systems that are not just on the properties, but monitoring the communities, the neighborhoods. We've assisted LAPD with solving quite a few crimes. One recently was they made some arrests based on the footage that we were able to capture. So a lot of these bad guys will take their license plates and drive with the license plates, but once they get into the neighborhood, they'll cover them. Mm-hmm. And so since our systems, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail as far as the neighborhoods that have these cameras or have these systems.
But they're out there.
They're definitely out there, and we're definitely with the assistance of LAPD, they're definitely making arrests. Our community also has a very, very active. Some of our association members have it's called Group Me. It's an app that allows them. It's like a next door, but we don't allow all the BS chatter on the next door.
So you're just basically connected.
We're connected only when there's a crime, only when there's a possibility of a crime, and we're very proactive, and we get We do have some private security, but we also work again with LAPD, and they respond.
Now, we were talking for about half hour, 40 minutes about just different issues, and one of the things you mentioned, you're meeting with the chief of police tonight. What are some of the issues that you're definitely going to express the concerns that you have in your community?
So the home robberies are a big thing. One of the things that we talked to Nathan Hochman about this a while ago when he was first came into office. We're working with some folks in LAPD to try to get some legislation so that if you use a gun in the commission of a crime, you get an extra enhancement. So that is a little bit of a discouragement for the bad guy. We're trying to get them to go ahead and you use a mask, you use a hood in the commission of a crime, you get an extra enhancement. The bad guys should not have a mask. They should not be shielding themselves. So we're going to talk to them about that. We're going to talk to them about the neighborhood issues. It's obvious. It's been in the news a lot lately. I mean, LAPD is underfunded. We do not have the support of our local council member. Our local council member is Encino, Sherman Oaks, Studio City. It's that particular person is more concerned about the rights of homeless versus the rights of us. We are constantly stepping over problems, and we don't have a good relationship with that particular council member. Councilmember Rahman she voted yesterday completely against the community as well where all the other council members were in favor of supporting SB 79.
And I have to cut you off, not because you named her, but because we're actually running out of time. But we will continue to talk to you, and we'll continue to talk to anybody who comes down here and wants to talk to Darren and I about what is plaguing their community. Back to you guys in the studio.
And obviously people out there having a lot to say. Christine, thank you.
The coffee is on us this morning.
It sure is. And Christine Lazar is live at M Street Coffee in Sherman Oaks, along with our Darren Haynes. They are talking about crime in the community, and everyone is invited to be part of the conversation. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning. Specifically property crime, which apparently is impacting a lot of people because we had so many Valley residents come out this morning and express what is plaguing their community and what they're doing to prevent it. And one of those tools you provide, which is home security. And I'm going to hand it over to Darren. He's going to talk with you about some of the devices that you're using to really harden your homes.
Yeah, so he immediately hands me this device, and I'm like, what is this? What is this device, and how does it work?
So what this device is a jammer. This device is what burglars are buying online. It's very affordable, and they can jam your system, your cameras, or your alarm system. So what we offer is services to negate this product. So
let's check out some stuff.
So basically, if a burglar tries to jam your house, these are some of the options you have. This is an early detection system. We deploy this outside, and it basically detects the burglar before they touch the house, and it turns on a siren. This siren's 153 decibels, and we put about 4 of these per house, and it creates a really loud noise, and the burglar has to leave. If they decide they want to continue, the second layer of defense is a film. So film goes on the glass, and what this does, it makes it so their tools can't break the glass. So now you've detected them, you've created a lot of noise, and if they try to break the glass, they can't. If they continue through the gauntlet of things that we put out for them.
Sounds like a gauntlet.
It's a gauntlet. And if they continue to try to pursue breaking into the home, the last layer of defense is a safe room. And this is something that a lot of people are using these days. We put this on bathrooms, on closets, on bedrooms, and essentially once this door is installed, it's impenetrable.
And, you know, one of the things that we keep hearing, too, is that people just can't wait for the police to respond, call 911. You really have to just be a neighborhood watch in your community and not just put up the signs.
Correct. Unfortunately, until now, a lot of homeowners simply have an indoor alarm system, and the indoor alarm system sounds the alarm after the burglar's already been in. By the time the police get there, the burglar's gone. So what you want to do as a homeowner is really focus on early detection and fortification of your home in order to defend your home.
All right. And the other thing we heard from residents who came down here is know your neighbors. It seems so simple, but it is a great way to make sure that your community is safe and the thieves say, hey, we're not going to come here. We'll just go someplace else. Amy and Rachel, back to you.
All right, Christine, Darren, thank you so much. So interesting to see how people are taking steps to protect their communities. We appreciate it.
And the fact that you can do small things
Absolutely.
make a big difference.